Hey, it's Erin, EW Wellness Solutions, and today we're talking gratitude. To help us out, we have Sly and the Family Stone. So when you think about gratitude, thankfulness, I usually hear about it a lot in the media around Thanksgiving usually, but we're going to go for third week of February because it's part of our self-love series. And with gratitude being part of our self-love series, it's important because when we see things for what we do have, when we look at the world for all the amazing ways we do have gifts, for all the ways we do have our needs met, for the 101 different ways today did go right instead of the 3 ways it didn't. That sort of thinking impacts how we look at ourselves. So, have you ever known someone that's really critical of others? Like just nitpicky and negative and just really, really hypercritical of other people? They're that way of themselves. Which is pretty crazy if you think about what their internal monologue must be about themselves. I mean, they could be that way with their handwriting, or the way they do their hair. It's kind of a sad state to be in. So the more we can be glasses half full about what we do have in our lives, what did go right today, what does go right most of the time, the easier it is to shift that thinking into, wow, I have a really good life. My relationships, I have some great people in my world. I'm healthy, that kind of thing. Let me give you a little bit of insight. So a couple years ago, right before my son's birthday, so right around February, we had a really freakishly cold winter for the Northeast. Yeah, it snows here, but let me turn this down for a second. It was freakishly cold, like Midwest cold, like negative whatever, right? Siri's freaking out. Because that was Siri, right? And negative, I can't remember. But our houses aren't built for that here. And a pipe burst in between the 3rd floor and the 2nd floor of my house in my daughter's room, which is bad. Very, very bad. Water is so incredibly destructive. So in about a 5-minute time span, and I was home for the whole thing, a pipe burst in the floor in between my daughter's room and actually the office I'm in right now, and it leaked in the side of the wall, down the dining room, down to the basement where I kept all the Christmas stuff. She wasn't home, she's in art class, so her room was completely flooded because that's where most of the water pooled. It also ruined the dining room and the majority of the Christmas decorations that my grandmother, who had passed away, had left for me. Now, I didn't start to cry until I realized the Christmas decorations were gone. Everything else insurance could buy again, right? Could get new rugs, could get new whatever. But the things that my grandmother couldn't, give me again because she was gone, those, they're gone, right? Everything else, get new ones. A third of my house was destroyed. 2/3 was not. So it was a big giant pain in the butt, and it still isn't like this great thing I think about, like, yay, our house was flooded, our pipe burst. But when I think about the scope of human suffering, it could have been so much worse, and we happened to be home. This kind of fluke course of events that we didn't go away a weekend we usually do, and that kind of thing. And we happened to be home when we shouldn't have been home. But looking back on it, it could have been so much worse, because turns out that pipe was going to burst and the weather was going to be bad. So if we hadn't been home that day, our entire house would have definitely been destroyed. So we have a lot of near misses. How often do we appreciate them? I know I always don't. I don't really usually even think that way. How often am I grateful that the train comes on time? next to never. Used to be. Now I'm like, oh my God, it was so great. The trip was uneventful. Because I've had so many trips where like it's 3 a.m. and I fly in. I'm like, thank God, But when you try to find the positive, there's a lot of positive to find. But when you try to find the negative, there's a lot of negative to find. So there's this saying, like, when you're a hammer, all you see are nails. So if you try to find things to be grateful for, you will find a lot. And if you're not in the practice of it yet, it's okay. It's really easy to fall into the negativity trap. There's a lot of people out there that are in it, and it's contagious. It's like spreading like wildfire. Start small. And if you have to make yourself for a while until it catches on as a regular habit, that's okay. Make an alarm on your phone. I've done it for a lot of sillier things. So just, end of your day, 3 things that went well. Even if it's stuff like the subway wasn't stuck, or doctor's appointment ran smoothly, I don't have any cavities. Just to get you in the thinking of what went well. And then a couple weeks later, add 4 things. Then, 6 weeks later, do it in the morning. Think about things that you're grateful for long term. Your mom, your sister. Think of ways in which you can be more grateful more often. Until you are all the time naturally. And don't judge the fact that you weren't this way for a long time before. Just move forward from a place of gratitude. Because the more you do this, you will see the world as a much more abundant place. You will see the world as a much better place. But if all you have on are your negativity glasses, that's all you're going to see is negative things. It's a really crazy experiment to run when after you've run it, you'll totally get what I'm saying. Hope that helped. Have a really good day, you guys. And tomorrow's Friday. Yay, us. All right, bye.